Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Mary Sue. Before we begin, would everybody please hit that like and subscribe and share button. There'll be links below to my other videos or other channels, which is Gardening in the Delta, Brother Card Reflects, and Sue Q Knickknacks. And there'll be a link to my eBay store. And I want to mention my book once again. I like to remind everybody each video about my children's book I had written or published a few months ago. It's about our outside little cat named Miss Kitty, and you can see the real Miss Kitty on some of our gardening videos. She is always out there with us when we're in the garden. Okay, before we begin, I know this is usually a weekend recipe. Here it is, middle of the week, and I'm finally getting it done. But this past weekend we had a few little computer issues with the internet, so I couldn't do too much on the internet. I had to wait till we got it straightened out. And it's all straightened out, working once again, so here I am a few days late. But I'll probably get one out this weekend, I hope, if nothing else happens. How many of y'all have ever gone to the fridge at the last minute to try to decide what you're going to cook for dinner? I think we're all guilty of that once in a while. I don't always plan my dinner a day ahead or days ahead. Sometimes I wait till the last minute just to see what I want to cook or see what's in the fridge that I need to use up. And that's kind of how this recipe came about. It all started with this one little can of cream of chicken soup that I had in the fridge. A few days ago, I opened this up by accident. I just grabbed a can out of the pantry, opened it, then I discovered I opened the wrong can. So I put it in the fridge and decided to use it later on a recipe or a video. And this morning I got up and got to thinking I'm in the mood for some vegetable soup, some type of veggie soup. So I started throwing together, looking to see what I could throw together. I'm going to use this cream of chicken soup, a few different cans of vegetables. To make this a little meatier, I'm going to add a couple of cans of this chunk white chicken. I keep these on hand all the time for different recipes. I add them to chicken soup or make chicken salad out of it. It's always good to have on hand. I hate cooking real wild chicken and having to debone it. That's one of the worst things I hate to do in the kitchen is cooking chicken, whole chicken. So I keep a lot of these on hand, and I also keep skinless, boneless, frozen chicken outside. I got some in that freezer. But it's frozen, and this is a whole lot easier. It's already defrosted. All I have to do is open the can, chop it up, and throw it in my recipe. Okay, I had in the freezer chopped up onion, bell pepper, and celery. I always keep these chopped up extra bags of these in the freezer all the time because like now, it's good to take them out and just throw them in a soup. You don't really have to use whole, fresh vegetables for your soup because they're going to get mushy anyway in there. Now my main vegetables is going to be, I had on hand a bag of frozen Brussels sprouts, 12 ounce, and a 12 ounce bag of broccoli florets. Now my husband loves both of these. He likes Brussels sprouts. He kind of likes broccoli. He can take it or leave it. If I can cover it up enough and disguise it, he's okay with that. Let me see, what else? I'm going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to throw in a can of diced potatoes. I keep these on hand all the time for soup also. Well, they're also good to fry up for a breakfast. They're already diced up. I very seldom keep raw whole potatoes on hand because they will usually go bad before I finish them. So I keep a lot of frozen and canned potatoes on hand. They last a lot longer. I'm going to throw in a can of navy beans just for some added protein. And some green beans. Let me see, I'm going to throw in a little bit of Italian seasoning, just give it some added little pep and flavor. And at the very end, one more vegetable that I absolutely love is asparagus. But as much as I love it, he hates it. So I can't disguise it. He won't eat it any way I cook it. So I'm just going to add some of this to my bowl of soup later. I'm not going to add it to the pot. Okay, let's get started here. I've already microwaved those bags of Brussels sprouts and broccoli in the microwave for about 3 or 4 minutes just to thaw them out. And then I chopped them up a whole lot smaller. I like to make my broccoli very, very tiny, just little bitty bite size. I cut the Brussels sprouts in half. I love Brussels sprouts, but I've actually never had it in a soup before. So I'm kind of anxious to see how this is going to come out with it in a soup. Okay. That's easily, maybe not so easily. Trying to get this all in my pot here without making too big of a mess. Hey, I did it. I was going to tell you, if anybody can make a mess, I can usually. Okay. Now I got a pot full of Brussels sprouts and broccoli. Already chopped up. Next, I'm going to add my soup on top. That's cream of chicken soup. Since this is already creamy, I'm not going to have to add, I'm not going to add any milk or cream or flour to make it thick, because this cream of chicken soup will help make it thick. Okay. I did drain most of the juice out of my potato can. Okay, what else? I drained most of the juice out of the green beans. I started to leave the juice in, but I decided to drain most of it out. I didn't want the soup to be too runny and juicy. If it's too thick and I need a little bit more juice, all I'm going to do is add some chicken broth. That will flavor it. And if it turns out to be too runny, I can add another can of cream of chicken soup. You can always play around with it and make it thicker or thinner, either way. Like I said, I'm adding the navy beans just for extra protein. I like navy beans in soup compared to northern beans because they're smaller. They're smaller beans. This would be a very, very healthy, delicious supper tonight. Now, I already took out some of my cornbread out of the freezer. Because whenever I have soup, no matter what kind of soup it is, he wants cornbread with it. So I always keep some of this in the freezer frozen. In fact, I may have to make some more after we have that. Okay. Now I'm going to stir all this up, then add my other stuff to it. Okay. Alright. So I've got to add the chicken and the other vegetables there. I think I will have to add just a little bit more liquid, which I'll add the chicken broth to it. Okay. There's my onions. That's probably about half a cup chopped up. Bell pepper, that's about half a cup chopped. And the celery may be a whole cup chopped on that. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Okay, now the chicken here. Just going to kind of cut it up in the can a little bit, make it a little bit more smaller bite size. It's chunky, kind of big chunks. I want a little smaller bite size. Two cans of this will be plenty. On Fridays, my husband used to make, a few years ago, he used to make what he called his end of week soup. Every Friday afternoon, he'd go to the fridge and pull out all the leftovers from the week, throw them together in a pot and make a soup. Didn't matter what it was, he usually put it together and it always came out good. Okay. I am going to add 1 can of chicken broth. As this cooks down, if I need more, I can add another one. I thought this liquid would flavor it better than using the liquid in the beans there. That way it keeps it a little more chicken flavor. I'm going to let this cook on the stove on medium for about 30 minutes. I'll stir it all up here. Now you can put any type of vegetables you like in it. You can put peas, carrots, corn. I like those vegetables, but I don't usually cook with those much because peas, carrots, and corn are too high in sugar for my husband. He's diabetic, so I very seldom use those vegetables. I might eat a can of corn myself once in a while with a meal, but he doesn't eat those anymore. So I never put those in my soup. Okay. And I did say something about cheese here a little bit. Oh, and my tiny seasoning. I almost forgot my seasoning. I use this in a lot of recipes because it has a little bit of everything I like in it. It has marjoram, thyme, rosemary, sage, oregano, and basil. That's probably about 3-4 tablespoons right there. After a while, you get used to cooking a lot in the kitchen. You just kind of get used to eyeballing about how much you need of something in your recipe. I very seldom take time to measure something. Unless I'm making somebody else's recipe, then I might measure it. Then even after that, I may usually change it up to how I like it maybe. Okay. My cream soup has gotten all divided through there, all mixed in. I can feel it. It's not lumpy anywhere. When it simmers down, it's going to be a spectacular veggie soup. And I'm not putting any red stuff, any tomatoes in this. I just want it mostly a green vegetable soup with all different green stuff in it. Except for the beans, they're white, navy beans. But there's broccoli and Brussels sprouts and green beans, potatoes. And I'm putting a little bit of, this is some Parmesan grated cheese. Okay. Before I serve this in the bowl, I will put a little bit of either some mozzarella shredded on top of it as I serve it, or some Italian style blend, either one. Just on top of my bowl right before I serve it. This smells good. I'm kind of glad now I did accidentally open that can of cream and chicken soup last week. Or a few days ago. Yeah, about 3 days ago I opened it. And I kept thinking, what can I do with that? I really wasn't in the mood to eat cream and chicken soup by itself. Just plain like that. I wanted to mix it in something. So far it looks just like consistency that I want it to be. Okay, like I said, we'll cover it up. Put it on medium to medium low. Let it simmer about a half hour. Keep a watch on it. See how thick or thin it gets. If it gets too thick, I can add some more chicken broth. If it gets too thin, I can add some more chicken soup. I think it's going to come out just right. While this is simmering, I will clean all my mess up and we'll come back in a few seconds and see how this looks. Hello everybody. I want everybody to take a little look at this while it's bubbling over here and cooking. I started out on medium for about last 15 minutes and I turned it down medium low because it was getting too hot too fast. I wanted to simmer a little bit lower. I did add a little bit of salt and pepper. And this may sound strange to you, but I added just a couple little pats of butter because I just like my vegetables have a little bit of butter taste to them. Just a dab, not much. But see, it's perfect. It's just the right consistency. It's not too thick, I don't think, and not too thin. I'm going to let it simmer a little bit longer, for another 15-20 minutes. But it smells absolutely wonderful. And this big pot, I probably wind up freezing half of it. It's quite a bit here. Now, some of you might be thinking that, I know a lot of people say that when you use canned vegetables, it's too much salt. Well, you can get almost any canned vegetable in a low sodium variety. So if you need to watch your salt intake, just get the low sodium variety. And frozen vegetables are really low in sodium anyway. So you can make a nice, quick, easy, shortcut way to make vegetable soup without using all the raw vegetables. I just use canned here, canned and frozen. Put this back on, let it simmer some more. Give it about another 15 minutes and we'll check it again. You got it. My cameraman here. He gets fed regularly.
I don't get paid anything.
But you get fed good, don't you? I make you cornbread.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. It's ready. Look at there. Delicious. It smells great. He came here and asked, what are you cooking?
I'm sure glad that they've got smell-o-vision.
That's right.
So that they can smell this.
Ooh. I put a little salt and pepper in it for you. I put the Italian seasoning. That's what you smell, the Italian seasoning.
Need some more pepper.
You can have some more pepper in your bowl. I got enough in it for me. Plenty for me.
You can never have enough pepper.
Like I said, before I serve it, I will put your choice of either some Italian blend cheddar cheese on top or some mozzarella. Just like they do at Olive Garden, they put cheese on your soup for you. I've got your crumb out of the freezer. I'm gonna have to make some more. And as I said earlier, before I serve it for myself in my bowl, I'm going to add some asparagus to my bowl. Want to try some? No.
That asparagus is fine, just like it is in that can.
So see, you can make a quick, healthy, hearty vegetable soup out of canned goods. I mean canned vegetables and frozen vegetables. You don't have to go all trouble growing your own vegetables if you don't want to, which we don't. Ooh, this smells great. Well, this is what we're going to have next few days. I may freeze about half of it. I will remind everybody about my little kids book, children's book over here. I'd like everybody to order a copy for their grandkids or little kids. Awesome Adventures, Miss Kitty and her woodland friends. I'll call this a wrap, and hopefully this weekend I won't be late with my next video. Let's go have some soup, son. Soup soon.
Soup.
Soup
Soup's
soon.
on.
Soup on. That's a tongue twister almost. I'll let you cut the video off for me. Put him to work for his supper.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. That's it. Bye.